Hello viewers, welcome to my YouTube channel. I am here today to teach you one of the easiest ways I use to couple from the scratch and the vent for the button and to attach a suit sleeve to my suit or any jacket related ways. So if you are ready to learn from this series of suit cutting and stitching, go straight right now and subscribe and turn on the notification button so that you will receive notification messages as we upload other videos from this series. So I welcome you once again to Oden's Fountains Fashion. I am Oden Shalom. If you haven't subscribed to this channel and you are a new viewer, hit the subscribe button, like and share this tutorial, and let's go and start this lesson. So if you want to gain in today's tutorial, you have to follow me up carefully and watch without skipping any part of this tutorial. So if you see very well, I gum hasty at this part of this because of the type of fabric I am using. And I'm going to place it like this. I have folded it with the folding allowance I kept. That was 2 inches. Yours could be 1.5. Have you seen 2 inches straight like this? So after folding it like this, I've placed the two sleeves right side to right side. Now I will be doing this from the scratch, so just watch carefully. I'm going to keep 1/2 inch sewing space from this point here. Have you seen? And I'll fold it straight like this. I'll use my iron to press it up very well. Look at what I just did. Have you seen? I'll raise it up like to that angle. Have you seen it? To make sure the 2 points meet, the angle should be 90 degrees. Have you seen? So I will fold it down like this and press it very well. So have you seen it? Have you seen how it is? I will make sure I press it and it laps very well. Now we'll do the same thing to the other side. So look at the small pieces of the sleeve. It's just folded by that folding allowance, 2 inches, and that is all. Have you seen? So we are done folding it. So we are going to go straight to the machine to make it happen. So that big pieces I folded, look at it. So I'm going to notch it at that angle where those two pieces meet. You see? So after notching it there, the other one already has a folded line. I will turn it like this to make sure those two lines meet. And at the center of this place, I'll hold it here. Have you seen? Make sure that notch and that line meet at the same point. So I'll place it to the machine, and you make sure you sew it so that it doesn't shift. So after sewing it, I'm going to be cutting it out because I am sure of the length of the sleeve. If not, you are not supposed to cut it out. Just take note of that. You are not supposed to cut it out. So after I'm done cutting it, because I'm sure of the sleeve, I will open it like this and I will give it a nice press. So have you seen? So now I will be showing you how to sew and leave the other place uncut. Have you seen? So this is the other side of my sleeves. So have you seen? I'll do the same thing exactly like I did in the other side, but here I'm not going to be cutting it out. Rather, just watch what I will do. Supposed to be folded like this. That line should be at the middle and turn to the right side, so that in case your client complains that the dress or the sleeve is short, you can be able to increase it like this. So if you want tutorials on how to increase it, just check my playlist. There I will drop a link before the end of this tutorial. So I'm pressing it all through like this, and I will turn it to the right side. Then you will see the look of it. Have you seen how smooth it is? Have you seen it? So to the machine right away, I'm going to place the small pieces of the suit sleeve to the big side like this, right side to right side. Now make sure this vent really matches or cleave to each other in that manner, and I will sew it to that place I folded. That folded line is where I'm going to stop. I'm not going to exceed it. So, and my notches will really rhyme. Have you seen it? I will gently make sure my notches all to the top rhymes, and I'll stitch it by 1/2 inch to the top. And when placed, this is how it should look like. Have you seen? So what I will do next is to raise it up like this, turn it to the right side, so that I don't want any inconveniences. I'm going to top stitch it without doubling the thread, just for the temporal time to hold that point for me, so that it will not shift by any means. That stitches will be loosened shortly if I'm done assembling this. So just watch. It's mostly for this tutorial I'm making that this thing. So I'll hold it like this and sew 1/2 inch in from that line I folded. So have you seen, I'm guiding the back side of it, that big piece is like this, and I'll stitch it to 3/4 inch to that fold line of the folding allowance. So gently, and you check so that you don't hold any other excess alongside. This is where the carefulness is needed. So have you seen where I sewed it to the point? Let me turn it and show you what is there. Have you seen this? Have you seen? So that's how it's supposed to look like. Look at it. And now I will be completing it from here. Just watch carefully and see the next step I will be doing. Have you seen? I will notch this angle here and turn it like this to that angle. Have you seen? I will sew it by 1/4 inch and notch the edge so that it will be pointed if I turn it to the right side, just like this. Have you seen? So what I will be doing now, just watch carefully. I will place my sleeve like this and hold these two places together like this. I will sew from this seam here, this one I will sew there by 1/4 like this. Just watch. I will sew it. Have you seen? I will sew it in here so that I will not hold or touch that my right hand side seam to 3/4 inch to the fold line. Have you seen? Have you seen it? So I'll just turn it like this. Look at what I mean. Have you seen how it is? So then I will cut in between this line after sewing like that. Just watch the line I'll be cutting from. After cutting it like this to that middle there of those two stitches, I'll cut it like this and go in by 1/2 inch and 1/8. 1/2 inch and 1/8. That middle line, I won't touch the last seam I made there. Have you seen it? So that is what I have just done. So you might have watched something similar, but if you follow this step, it will give you the best result you ever wish is from research I have made over the years. I found this more helpful and useful to me. So down to the lining, I will be attaching. So have you seen, I will make sure the lining is the same thing with what I have at the sleeve, the bodies. So I normally cut my lining a little bit excess of half inches above, so that after joining it, I will trim it out. Look at. So I will place it like this and make sure the seam of the lining and the seam of the sleeve bodies are the same. I will notch it that way. Before I continue, this place, because of that cut I made, will be dangling, so I will hold it like this, top stitch it a little to hold it firm for me as I attach my lining. So have you seen it? Have you seen? It will not shake or move again. So now I will turn my lining like this with my bodies, following that notch I made, and I will sew it half of an inch all through. So after sewing it like this is what you will be having when you are done. So I will be going, after having this result, to my ironing table, and I am going to be pressing it this way. I'll fold it like half of an inch, the lining half of an inch like this. So I have tutorials on how these things mean, and I know you know. So if you don't, I'll drop links on how these things work. So for an expo, they make you not to have shortage of a lining, because the lining is supposed to be more relaxed. So I'll cut out the excesses I have from the lining out. So after cutting out the lining, from this point here, I'll measure 1.5 inches above the normal sleeve. That will be the lining space. I like my lining being free. So have you seen? I'm done cutting them. Now the next step is to go to my machine. So by half inches is the allowance I kept for my sewing for the sleeves here. So have you seen? I'll place my tape and sew it all the way up. And up here I will confirm my slip round measurement too, and I'll sew it all through again. Then over to the lining, I will do the same thing to the lining as well. But I will fold this place I folded like this, fold it like this, and put it up together like this. Have you seen? So I will sew it the same way up. After sewing it, I will take my sleeves to the pressing table. I will open the seam and press them thoroughly till they are cool. After that is done, I will pull my sleeve to the right side like this, and I will arrange it and and press it evenly. And now to the sewing machine. Now since the sleeves are ready, I will be pulling out the lining like this. I haven't finished with it, so I will hold it from this point and put my hemming gum. I will sew the hemming gum at that seam like that round. Then I will fold this thing from that fold line like this from the lining side to meet with this other seam here, and I'll hold it like this. Have you seen? Hold it like this and make sure any other side of the lining or sleeve bodies doesn't touch there, and I will stitch it this way. Have you seen? So then I will pull it to the right side. Watch carefully. After pulling it, this is what I will have. Then from that middle like this, have you seen? I'll hold my sleeve, and after putting the lining inside, I will place it to sew. But before I sew, I will adjust my stitches to that of gathers so that I can be able to make this sleeve come out very well. So have you seen? I will sew it all around to that point I started. And I will cut the threads 2 inches from the fabric. Have you seen? The thread has space. So what I will do now is just to hold one of the thread, one of it. Have you seen? And make it puff this way. That gathers. I made a tutorial on this on the something like this. So I will do it all through until I have the measurement I wish to have in my armhole. So have you seen? And I need 21.5 to 21.75. It's cool for me with the dress and the size I'm making. So have you seen? So it means I'm good to go. So right here to the bodies, what I will be doing now is just to place that notch from that my sleeve 1/2 inches to the back side of this dress. Like from that shoulder line, I will go in by 1/2 inches to the back side. 1/2 inches, 1/2 inches. I explained this in one of my tutorials on suit cutting, why it is like that. So, and in this case, you are not supposed to make your thread tight. It should be as loose as that of gather, so that in case of any challenge, you can be able to loosen it without affecting the surface of your dress or your suit. So I'll place it like that and sew to this point. Just carefully. And after reaching that side seam of the suit, I will cut. Look at what I have here. Have you seen? So I will pull the hand from the lining side like this to complete that sleeve to the other end. You see, you have to make sure you arrange it well and you place it. I'm not sewing up to 1/2 of an inch until when I have tightened my threading, while I will be putting the warden and the shoulder pad. So these are the things I'll be using. The warden, I will lace 3 inches from the armhole. That will be the warden, and my shoulder pad for this. So, and this thing I will use to join my lining to the suit bodies. So I'll pull out my sleeve, my armhole like that, and I will fold my warden this way to determine the midpoint from the shoulder line. So I'm going to place it like this. Then I will trace it all through to the place it ends. Then I will sew it from there. This is an accurate measurement I'm giving you. So fold it according to what I am folding. So are you seeing? And I will place it this way. And I will place my shoulder parts, fold it like this, and place it at the midpoint, have you seen, of that shoulder line. Keep it like that and guide my warden as I am sewing alongside with it. You just have to watch how I am guiding that sleeves so that there will not be any excess or anything there. So to that midpoint of the shoulder, I will impute this thing like this. Have you seen? In between the main fabric and the shoulder part, and I will sew. Remember, I'm sewing the lining, the warden at the midpoint of that thickness, the way my right finger is. So after sewing through the warden, I'll be sewing from there to the warden point again I started from, just to close that place totally. Have you seen? So, and I will cut out like this. So I will pull out my sleeve to the right side. Look at what we have here. Have you seen? That is the look you are supposed to have there. So let's complete this by coupling the lining. So I will put my hand to remove the lining from where it hits. And to confirm my lining wasn't twisted, I'll put in my hand to see if it will come out. Have you seen? So I'm sure the work was cool. So what I'll be doing is just to hold my lining to that line, that shoulder line, and flip it like this to sew. So if in any way you find this tutorial helpful and you haven't subscribed, just subscribe to this channel, turn on your notification so that we will message you each time we upload a new video. And please, to keep me encouraged, smash the like button. Just give this video a thumbs up and share for more encouragement and more tutorials that will be helpful to your fashion life. I know in one or two ways you might have learned from this tutorial. Thank you for watching. Kudos to my viewers. See you in our next tutorial.